Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so this person that I'm picking up on is feeling really overwhelmed and overwhelmed with regret, I just heard. So they're feeling really regretful about something. And I think that there's something about this that feels very like sensory deprivation for me. So I don't know if they're alone or they're isolated or if they just feel really alone and very isolated. It feels very gray in their space, not a lot of color. And I feel like this person is very internal most of the time. Like even if they are interacting with people, they are still, there's like a tape that's kind of going on in the back of this person's mind where they're processing their overwhelm. And I think this person may even regret feeling overwhelmed. So this kind of reminds me of what's called like a deactivating strategy, especially for like an avoidant kind of person. I do think this person was avoiding something here. And it's like they deactivated, they kind of cut off, and they regret doing that. And they're recognizing that they did that because they felt overwhelmed. And whenever they did that, they put something down that they really needed to be grappling with. I think this person fell back on like old habits. It feels like they fell back on their attachment style, to be honest, whatever their attachment style is, whether they're anxious or whether they're avoidant. And it's those old tapes from their past that's kind of navigating them, telling them what they need to do. But I feel like it's got them into a situation that they don't want to be in. And now this person's feeling overwhelmed by that. And I think that's part of this person's overwhelm is they're kind of realizing that their decisions, or it feels like that because it could have been a major decision and that could have had to do with you, but it feels like their decisions, like one by one, even their decision to run from this, to not deal with this head on, something like that. It's like it got them in a place, in a relationship, in a situation that they don't want to be in. And there's no color here in this situation. So I don't know if this person, I think they're, it wouldn't surprise me if they're feeling depressed. And again, just like very alone and isolated. If this person's with someone, they still feel very alone in that situation. I do feel like this person is thinking it's like there's a reckoning that's gone on here where this person has kind of realized something. And I feel like it was kind of like it was a shock, but it doesn't feel like it does feel like that just on the inside. I'm almost seeing like a metaphor of somebody running and jumping on a grenade. It's like there's that explosion, but they're kind of like muffled it like internally. And I feel like this person didn't say something, they don't want to say something that they will regret. So I think a lot of this is just so internal right now. And that's why they're feeling extremely overwhelmed. I think this person has a decision to make, or they feel like they've got a decision to make, because part of this reckoning is, well, actually, I feel like the entirety of this reckoning is realizing that they've gotten themselves into a situation that they don't want to be in. Something that they don't feel, like I said, there's no color in this situation. There's no color in this situation. And I think they feel really stressed out, like just kind of pondering the decision that they need to make. And through all of this, I think this person is feeling like they have unfinished business with you, that you guys still have things that you need to discuss. And this person, I think, is regretting, they wish something never happened here. Like, I think they feel like they did something stupid, or they partnered up with somebody that was stupid or something here like that. But they wished it feels like something happened here and then it needed to be resolved. And this person like took space. And I think they told themselves that they needed space. So then that was them kind of going on autopilot. And I feel like this person wasn't really thinking about what they were doing, and they weren't thinking about the repercussions of their actions. And they weren't thinking about, again, like all the space and all the time and all the distance that they were putting you through and how that was affecting you, and that there may not be any going back, after having given you space. And I feel like after this person took space, I actually think then you wanted space, or you started thriving in your space. Because I think this person left you in some kind of darkness, some kind of like, I just heard like a hollow shell or like a hollowed out feeling. And then the light came in is what I'm getting. I feel like the light came into your space. And then all of a sudden, maybe you regretted believing this person, trusting this person, being with this person, and you were the one that now you feel like you need more time away from this person. And this person's really regretting that, because they feel like now they have unfinished business and they have no way to resolve it. They also feel like they've gotten themselves into a situation. This feels very karmic because it feels like this person's gotten themselves, it's like they've built their own fortress. They dug their own, it's like they dug their own grave, but it's like a prison cell that's like beneath that is what I'm getting. They built their own obstacles here and it's like they built some kind of obstacle that they have to get out of, and they put a ton of space between you and them. So it's a long road ahead for this person to try to like mend things or even bridge the gap. I think for some, even getting in your space to have this conversation, or even convincing you to even have a conversation with this person, even if it's just like a cursory conversation. And because I said that, I meant just like a not lighthearted, but just like acquaintance level, conversation. But cursory is like, I think there maybe needs to be an argument, and that's what this person was trying to avoid or regret. They know that you have every right to like yell at them, curse at them, for what it is that they did. And this person is, I think, just willing to just let you do that. And they just want to express their regret and that they felt really overwhelmed by this sense. And I think there's something about a situation in the past where they realized that, I keep hearing that deactivating strategy, that they were just feeling really overwhelmed and they were feeling really stressed and they didn't handle that in the way that they should have. I'm thinking this person could have sabotaged a commitment. So they could have cheated on you. And I think this person's recognizing the way that they sabotage themselves, that they sometimes mess up the good things in their life. And, or they could have messed up, that could be another obstacle that they've placed in the way here. And again, there's a lot of gray energy around this. So this person could have sabotaged rekindling things or working things out with you by getting in a commitment with somebody else. Something that was really ill-advised and something that never really fit them to begin with. Like, there's no color here in this space. And I think it was just them running. Like, any attachment that they had to this other person, and it's a commitment energy, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic commitment. It could be this person took a job that was, with the space energy here, like very far away from you. And, now they're committed to that job. They don't have any time off. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're recognizing now that something that they did to kind of take the pressure off is like internally it was just a toxic move. And so they could have also gotten in a commitment with somebody else, and that actually sabotaged any hope that they had of getting back together with you. And it's, for some, it just like literally took up their time, energy, attention, and space. And it wasn't like meaningful to them. And I think this person is realizing that what was meaningful to them about this commitment with this other person, or seeking that out, was the sabotaging factor of your connection. Was just running away from the overwhelm that they felt about your connection. And I think that's one of the things that this person's realizing, is that maybe you guys hit a wall here. And again, I think this person kind of did something that they regret, and you hit a wall, but at least there was color there. There was passion there. This person liked you. They ran. This person is realizing the way in which they ran from the situation. And maybe this person thought that you were going to chase, but I don't think you did. I think that you actually took space for yourself. And I feel like the light came in. I keep getting that image for you where you could see kind of the way in which this isn't fair or equitable, that you were unappreciated. And I think you felt like this person didn't care. And I think this person cared a lot, actually. I think they were trying to give the impression, and maybe they were trying to lie to themselves, like, by just going off and getting involved with somebody else, like that you weren't special to them. And that's what they thought they needed at the time. And it could be that this person also felt unappreciated, but they know that they made you feel unappreciated, and that they gave you the impression that they didn't care. And they did that as a mechanism of being overwhelmed, like just shutting off, and as an excuse is what I'm hearing. A lie that they told themselves to tell themselves it was okay to do what I feel like they were telling themselves, that they were taking space, but actually they were sabotaging, and they knew that they shouldn't have been doing whatever it was that they were doing. And so now I feel like this person wants your forgiveness. They want to tell you, like, okay, I'm hearing this song by Shadazy. It's like, I can't remember. It's an old song. It's like, this is punishment. I feel like this is judgment day. I'll raise my hand, stand up, and say, something innocent. This is punishment. They feel like, because they had so much chemistry with you. And I think that it was overwhelming and they didn't know what to do. And it's now everything is like super gray. And I think that's what this person feels like, is that because they desecrated the temple with you, they didn't value that. They didn't mend the chemistry with you. It's not like they were going to run off and find it somewhere else. They were running away from their problems, basically. And it led to some kind of unexpected outcome. And they feel like too much time has gone by. And also I feel like time is this person's like, they could have tried to weaponize that against you. Or again, it's just like they were in this running space, and it feels like procrastination is what it feels like. And I think this person kept telling themselves that enough time would go by or eventually, but the thing is, like, whenever the future never comes, right? Like whenever the future comes, it always comes in the form of now. And this person is incapable of taking action in the now because of a lot of psychological issues that this person kind of has to overcome, like their fears. It feels like their attachment style, and it caused a lot of damage. So it feels to me like whatever this person did in the moment, they had regret over. They should have mended the space with you, or at the very least let you know that they were feeling overwhelmed, that they have a lot of chemistry with you, and that they value you, and that they needed to express regret. And so not doing that, plus the space and the time that has gone on here, has caused like just almost like a lot of damage. And that's what's overwhelming this person as well. I feel like this person needs to deal with their overwhelm. Like whenever they feel overwhelmed, they need to have ways of coping with that. Like healthy ways, internal ways of bringing themselves back down to baseline. They know they're hurting from this. They know that you are hurting from this. They might feel like they've hurt somebody else by involving with them. This person is, I feel like there was a third party here. And they're feeling guilty about that. Sorry if you can hear my cat meowing in the background. They feel guilty. But they've learned a lot from this. There's something here about values. And so involving with a third party potentially, I definitely think that it made you feel like you were not valued by this person. And I think you also felt like you and them don't have the same values. And they want to reveal, they think that you do have the same values. And that might surprise you. Because some of you are just like, this person is a cheater. And for some of you, they did something really low down dirty. Like they cheated with your best friend, or they cheated with I just heard your mom, good Lord. Or something here like that. Like, they want to reveal that they are unsatisfied. They want some kind of new chapter, and that they've been reflecting. But this person, I don't know, this doesn't feel like this person can just pop up in your life and be like, I'm unsatisfied in this situation. I want to tell you all about that, and I want a new chapter. I've done some reflecting here. I also think that you have found your space, but this is like healthy space. So this person used space in a negative way, and they used it to avoid, and they used it to procrastinate. But you actually were productive in your taking of space, and I feel like you had to let this go. I think that you felt unworthy, and I think this person wanted you to feel unworthy. And they're realizing that you handled this way better than they thought you did, or that they thought you ever could, and certainly like way better than they did. And now this person is just feeling really lost. I think this person, and this is what this person's also meant to confront as well, because I think this person just has too many people pulling on their energy, because, and they allow it, they tolerate it, they don't stand up to it because they are running. And it's a distraction. And whenever they feel overwhelmed, I think they listen to the crowd, or they listen to the wrong voices somehow. And then they just daydream about hope that things can be like overcome in this situation. And none of that is actually boots on the ground, And so this person is kind of having a reckoning moment, but they sit at a very delicate place in their own cycle, because they're going to go around again is kind of what I think. I think they really don't want to, but this person has to have some stamina. They have to have some get up and go. They have to have something here to break this cycle, and it's an internal cycle with this person. Yeah, they've got karmics all around them that plug into this internal cycle, but this is an internal cycle where they just kind of give up their power. They just get swept up. They get swept along, and they tell themselves that that's a position of power, that it puts themselves in a position of power. But it actually doesn't. It saps their power. And this cycle is played out again. But I kind of get the sense that this is played out between the two of you before, whether that's in this lifetime and you tried to forgive and you tried to overcome this and then they did the same thing again. Or if this is like a past life thing. But it's because this person is meant to get to the root of why they do this. And they need to own up to the fact that they're like their side of things. You know, because you have really demonstrated some healthy coping skills here. And I think that's what's broken this cycle. You're not going around in this again with this person. And so what I'm saying is like this person gets themselves in these negative situations and then they hope and they daydream. So they have a lot of realizations. And that might frustrate you about this person because they could have a lot of realizations. So when they call you on the phone or when they come back into your life or when they try to, or if they've done this in the past, they can be very eloquent about all the things that they did wrong. Because hindsight is 20/20 is what I'm getting. But where this person struggles is in the moment, and that underlying issue has not changed with this person. They sit on a precipice where it could change, but they need to take space for themselves. I think this person does need to be alone. I just heard they need to cry. They may need to be in some therapy. I think for some there might need to be like some medication here, or I feel like there is an actual depression issue here, and they need to. I just heard they need to understand their deactivating strategies, and they need to understand and unpack the way in which they sabotage commitment and the way that they sabotage their future, because this person doesn't pursue the things they want in their future. This feels like not just a passive approach, but it feels they are trying to enact some kind of pressure on you or on the situation, but it's like, it's not direct and it's in this roundabout way. And so it confuses everybody involved. And this person sort of, I'm seeing someone skim the cream off the top of the milk jar, you know, they skim the cream off the top. So yeah, it's like a bubbly, fermenty process that this person kicks up. And it's by confusing people and giving people the wrong impression. So they could, if this person involves with other people, it's, they get people excited about them and they're doing it. Sorry, my battery cut out. Whoever this person actually wants in this situation doesn't know that they actually are the target of this person's like affection and that they're the person that this person wants in their future, because I kind of get the sense that this person involves too many people. And that could be romantically. That could be this person sleeping with people, you know, willy-nilly or under the radar, bringing in third-party situations in that way. But it also could be just involving too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing, where they ask all your friends what they should do. Your whole family knows your business, and it really should be this closed circuit energy between the two of you. And they do that because it confuses people about the power that they have in this situation. This person likes to make people think that they're more important than they actually are to them, because then those people invest in them, and then those people like really show out for them in a certain way, which is kind of the pressure. This is messed up and this person knows it, but it's like, that's kind of the pressure that they put on their target, because they're trying to, I don't know, confuse their target even too. Like, do you think that I want this person? Do you think, and does that scare you? And are you going to fly into a jealous rage so that I have the power in the situation, so that this person can skim the cream off of the top? But in the process of doing that, the level of chaos and damage and confusion and hurt that this person pushes into other people that they use essentially. And it's like this person's kind of setting up, it's more like setting up a domino board. Like, I'm going to knock over this domino and this domino and this domino. But yeah, now they're seeing it now. Like, even as I'm speaking about this, I feel like this person is having epiphanies and awakenings, and they're having regret. And I think this is actually an empathy issue. I think this person may have a lot of friends, or like, again, I don't know. It's like, or the relationships they have are very deep or something here like that. But this person sort of moves beneath the surface, and it's disingenuous. Like, if they're using people like this, the connections that they have with people are illusions, and they're disingenuous. Because this is the kind of person that like muddies the lines with that. So this could be like, maybe they have this very incestuous relationship with their mom, you know, and their mom is like, they're muddying the lines because they give their mom like partner energy, you know? Like, oh, you're my partner in my life. So it's Oedipal and it's incestuous, and it blurs the lines. This is also somebody who could sleep with their friends. But it's just because for a power play towards you, if you're like the target for this, you know, but it confuses the friend, and the friend is, you know, encouraged to develop like deep feelings for this person that they shouldn't have, and they shouldn't be encouraged to have, because it's going to cause a heartbreak. And if somebody really cares about you, they're not putting you in that position. and they're not trying to drum up those feelings for their own selfish gain. So this person needs to accept that, because I think that this is somebody who kind of hides behind those connections. And then if you call them out, they're like, how could you possibly say that? Like, my mom is just my mom. She's just the most important person. And you're like, the boundaries in this relationship are gross, effed up, and weird. And they're causing problems in our relationship, problems that you benefit from. And you're doing it. I have a hard time believing that you don't know what you're doing. And this person is just like unwilling to change, and it's a power play, and you know it's a power play, but this person is just so strategic, and I think they're used to getting away with this. They're used to that like working out in their favor, that they can't just drop the act and level with you and be like, yeah, I have been doing that, because that would be a step towards genuine intimacy and genuinely building a relationship with you. And I kind of think for this person, if they could get their act together, and that is a long shot right now, if they had a relationship with a person that they genuinely cared about, and they had empathy that they didn't shut off, because this is like impaired empathy, because I think this person can empathize with other people, but they shut it off when it's convenient for them and when they decide that they want to use people, and if they decided that that was just beneath them, and that they were going to figure out how to get their needs met in the world without harming a bunch of people, including people that they call their friends, and things like that, then this person can make a lot of progress very quickly. And they could probably be a very good partner to you, and you guys would probably have a very happy life. And also they would probably nurture their friendships in a real way. And also the people that they don't really feel a friendship bond towards, but they just find them to be a useful pawn for whatever trait or whatever position that they have, those people would fall away, and everybody would be better off as well. Because they're a karmic in that person's life, and that person that they've brought in that doesn't belong in your soul group is a karmic to everybody over here. So there's just a lot of mess. There's a lot of mess. And for all this person's maneuvering, I think they've just backed themselves into a corner, basically. And now they're focusing, they feel the lack. They feel the lack of, I just heard like the lack of love in their life, like genuine love. Because this person, when push comes to shove, I don't think they lead with love. I think they do when it's easy, because this person does have empathy. But like if this person feels threatened, or if they feel, I just heard abandoned, then that's when this person has impaired empathy, and they stop thinking about the way that their actions affect other people, and they just start using people as pawns. And now they're really reflecting on how their bad habits have led to certain absences in their life. And I think that you are one of those, and it could be other people here as well. They want to have a conversation about their mistakes, and I think for some of these people that might be in therapy. Because they always hold back. I do think this person needs to be in a place where they feel like they don't have to hold back their confusion and how broken they feel. Yeah. So this person is going through a dark night of the soul. They're realizing this person has like undermined and sabotaged other people, again, for like their selfish gain, but mostly they've undermined and sabotaged themselves. And I just heard, as you sow, so shall you reap. So this person is this is a boomerang energy, with this is like turned around on this person. And it's like undercut them at the knees. Because I'm seeing this person throwing a boomerang, trying to cut people off at the knees. But then I see it just like coming back around and cutting them off at the knees. And now they're really regretting a third party, or being a third party, or being indecisive about a third party. And they realizing that they were doing that because they didn't want to give in a reciprocal manner. They're realizing that. So there is progress here, but like I'm telling you, it's easy for this person to sit and think about it. This person weaponizes space. They weaponize the future. This person could future fake, but like they weaponize the future, like, oh, I'll do that in the future under these specific circumstances. And it's just a way for them to procrastinate what actually needs to happen. And I really think for this person, reaching out to you is not what needs to happen. I think they need to get themselves in therapy. I think they need to start unpacking a lot of stuff. I think they need to get very real about who they are and what they've done. They need to call a spade in themselves. They need to stop saying like, well, no, that person is my friend, because they halfway mean it. That's why this person's such a convincing liar. And they don't understand that you and other people view them as a liar. They don't really understand that, because they have lied. And it's because this person hides from themselves, because when they tell you like, no, this person is just a friend, they actually do mean that. But here's the part they left out, they left out that the second they feel abandoned or the second they feel threatened, their empathy shuts off, and then they start to use people and move people around, and that they do know exactly what they're doing. And this person is pretty strategic in their mind, so they know if they just say that to you that you're going to move away from them. And I don't think this person wants to be a bad person, but I think they want what they want, and they're scared. And they're out trying to outrun that. And that's what they need to unpack, like with a skilled therapist, with somebody who has the ability. And I do think for this person, it would be helpful to get in with a therapist, somebody who can call them on their stuff, somebody who sees exactly what they're doing, because, and not all therapists are created equal, but it's like, and not all friends are created equal, I just heard as well. So they might have some friends around them that can say like, oh, are you ready to speak honestly about this or that? And this person needs to not go back to any person that they victimized, and that includes friends. So I think this person may be feeling alone, but I think it's beneficial for this person to do therapy. And because they have to get to the bottom of their sabotaging behavior, and in a place where they feel like they're not going to be judged. And part of that is to do that with somebody that they haven't wronged in the past, and like weaponize their friendship, where they haven't shut that empathy off when it was convenient for them, in order to deactivate, if that makes sense. So, yeah. And I don't know. I think this person, they've seen something here. They've seen too much is what I'm getting, like about their own behavior. So even if they start to kind of go back around again, I don't think it's going to have the same oomph that it does. Like this person's going to kind of carry the guilt with them, and that's good because it's peeling them apart from their shadow is what I'm hearing, from causing more damage. And I think ultimately this person feels unworthy, and that's why they keep secrets. And it's also why they keep this secret hope for a new chapter. But that's the same pattern. That's what I keep picking up on. They have this like secret hope. They have to stop being so passive. They have to actually do things in their life. And this is like in their life, They have to be a person who takes action where they feel like they need to, and do it in the right way. And they just have to hold themselves to that standard. And yeah. And they have to maybe stop feeling so dependent on other people. Like, I think this is someone who needs to have an understanding that if they don't get what they want, and if somebody does move away from them, that they will be fine. And I think that's what you learned, actually. And I think that's what this person's meant to see, because they tried to levy. That's what I find. This is what I don't like about this too. It's like this person tried to levy their own worst nightmare scenario at you in order to control you. This is the thing this person doesn't want to happen to them most of all. And that's the non-reciprocal energy too. It's like, and then they levied that at you. And I think you weathered it pretty well. And you know who does stuff like that? An enemy. So I feel like this person is like wanting to be your love, wanting to be your partner, but it's in actuality been one of your worst enemies, one of your hardest enemies to overcome, because they had access to your heart, or they were living with you, or you were in a marriage with this person, or you were in a relationship with this person, and they managed to betray you like this. And possibly with friends that you thought, because again, this is somebody who uses people as pawns, and it doesn't matter if it's family or if it's friends. Because when they feel threatened, they feel justified, and they shut off their empathy. They stop thinking about how their actions affect other people. And they do that to create the fizz and then to skim the cream off the top. But everybody else is left with like this weird fizz with like a warm, grainy texture, and they have to care about that. They have to start caring about that's the legacy, that's the impact that they've had on people. And that actually, I think after this person has done that to a person, the only thing that's really salvageable is if they do some kind of song and dance of being regretful, but being happy, or trying to, like, they convince them to cut it off. Like, oh, well, let's not think about that anymore, and let's just start a new chapter. That's kind of what this person does. And they kind of love bomb. They love bomb, like, let me take you to a concert. Let me, where we can be immersed in the good feelings so that you forget about the bad feelings. So this is a person who sweeps things under the rug, and they don't actually deal with things. They don't heal things. They don't allow somebody to be heard, because this person does feel embarrassed and ashamed, and they don't want to be called out, and they don't want it to stick, is what I'm getting. Like, they don't want the bad behavior that they did to stick to them in that person's mind. They want it to seem like a fluke. They want it to seem like a one-off after they get what they want in the situation. And then I think they actually do tell themselves that it'll be okay and it'll be fine. And now things are straightened out and that was a long-term solution, but it won't because the underlying issues have not changed. And I think it all starts with this person not knowing when they are triggered, when they're heightened, and how to bring themselves back to baseline without involving other people, first of all, and certainly without harming other people. And harming people even if they think that other people aren't going to find out, because they do that by giving people false hope, by making a friend think that they have a schmegsual interest in them when they actually don't. They just want their partner to feel them moving towards another person because they feel like that advantages them. And it's a friend, so they have somewhere to start from, and that's the kind of quickest person that they can grab and kind of hold in front of their body, like as a shield. That's what this person is doing. I think this is just it's a cowardice, and we all have cowardice, but I think there's a reckoning going on in this space where this person's kind of connecting the dots and realizing that that's what they do, and that if people have moved away from them, I'm also hearing like they don't really, because they won't allow someone to call them out, and because they won't have a real conversation about what they really did. They always kind of like, oh, that's not what I did, or I didn't mean that, or no, of course I value you as a friend. I just stopped having empathy for you the moment that I felt like I needed to. And then we both know that I treated you wrong, but I can't admit that because you're going to move away. People move away anyways because they don't get their needs met, because they don't trust this person. They feel scared that it's going to happen again because this person hasn't learned how to like reassure people that it won't happen again. And so people have this image of this person as like veneer and as a liar and as somebody untrustworthy and somebody selfish and somebody that will throw them over at the drop of a hat. People eventually will have that with this person because they get used, and they know they get used, and it's cruel and it's hurtful. And then they have to process, then they have to go process stuff, and they regret trusting this person, or they regret like maybe just being near this person because then they feel overwhelmed. But it's like, well, I wasn't thinking about you in that way until you started coming on to me. And then I started thinking, and that's when I started, and I didn't need to go through all of that because none of it was real. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of energy. It's a sabotage. It's a sabotaging energy. But it's one that hurts not just other people, but other people that are friends and family is really what I'm getting. Friends and family. And so this person has not been a friend, and this person has not been family. Not really. And that's why they are feeling alone. And that's why they're steeped in their regret. But because they don't have another healthier habit yet, they don't know what to do instead. This person is still going to get triggered. Their energy is still going to rise. And then they're still going to be faced with what to do. And, the old saying goes that you either fall back on your instinct or your training. So that's what I'm saying is like this person needs training. And if this is you, look at it that way. Don't look at it as a moral failing. There's clearly something going on here with an attachment issue. Your instincts are lying to you. Your instincts have been lying to you, and you see that now. They have led you astray. They have led you up the garden path. You cannot trust them. It is not advantageous. It's not sneakery. You don't get away with it. People are actually more on to you than they realize. The reason they don't bring it up to you and they don't give you a chance to work it out is because they know that you're going to dodge. They know that you're not going to be honest, and so it is a pointless performative exercise. And they don't want to do that because they don't feel safe. And that's what they need. They ultimately need reassurance. They need a guarantee that you not just have learned your lesson, but that you know what to do instead. Like what's the plan? When you feel that way again, what's the plan? And so that's why there needs to be a training here. There needs to be I recognize when I am triggered and when I'm heightened and when I'm above baseline, and I know what works for me to bring myself back down. And I think for this group, it would probably be a good first move to isolate yourself. When you feel that way, make sure you go get alone time. That's the healthy use of space is what I'm getting. Go to, even if you're like in the middle of a party and you're feeling that way, go to the bathroom, lock yourself in the bathroom, let everybody think you have the worst case of the blow shits they've ever seen. It doesn't matter. Like just sit in there and just splash some water on your face, take a couple deep breaths. Look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself you love yourself and you're going to be fine no matter what happens. You have your own back, you're your own best friend, and here you are, baby, okay? Say your name 3 times in a mirror, really summon yourself. Like whatever you have to do to just have your own back and to just breathe. And also just because I think this is also a group that it's like you see something and it's not necessarily what you think it is, but you just get triggered. It's abandonment. I really strongly think this is abandonment. And this to me feels like even like if your partner is friends with somebody and they're showing intimacy and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just friendship intimacy, which is healthy and it's good. And we want our partners to have that. And you can't trust that as well if you're a person that uses your friends schmegulally the moment that you feel like it's advantageous. Because then you project that out onto somebody else. Like, oh, that's what they're doing. When really they might not be. They might be, but they might not be. But you have to give yourself the space in order to be able to do that. And I feel like that's what it's about, creating space, healthy space, not this like weird space where something is just left to linger, where we're not confronting something here. Because it feels like there needs to be an owning up of behavior here with this person. And that's the thing that they can't say. Because to be honest, I feel like this person would feel exposed. And that would be really hard for this person because they feel like that's where their power comes from, is from not exposing this side to themselves. But that's where the damp sets in. That's where the mold sets in and the musty. And it actually needs to be exposed to sunlight. And that can be the hardest thing for any of us. We all have this place inside of us. This is what shadow work is. We all of us have this place inside of us. And the voice tells you hide it and, whatever. When really it's so good to air it out with a safe person or when you're on your own and to actually clear it up. To clear that gunk up. And I feel like that's the hard thing for this person. That's the really hard thing for this person, is to say, no, I actually am this way. And the thing is, somebody here that they're thinking about, that they really miss, they already know they're this way. They're just waiting for this person to admit it and to own up to it. And it's like, that's the healing conversation that needs to be had and initiated by this person. Not just like, I know I did wrong. And also I knew what I was doing the whole time. And I didn't have empathy for you or whoever I threw at your face. Schmegully or whatever, I used everybody as a pawn in this situation, and it was because I was freaking out internally. I think for some, this person may need to express that they have emotions, that they actually do care, that they're not like a psychopath, that just, but what this person has, I think, is impaired empathy, where it just shuts off in the time where you need it to work the most, and they have to understand the way that they themselves are culpable. But it's not enough for this person just to express regret and that they know what they did. This person needs to have a plan. This person needs to know how they themselves operate on the inside. They need to know what works for them to calm themselves back down. And they need to get some practice under their belt doing it. That's what they need. Whenever they start to feel overwhelmed, and they can't just stay in a reminiscing space or a hope space in their mind, because that's that unhealthy space, because it's a procrastination. But the work that this person has to do, again, is not bridging the gap yet, because they're not ready to do it. They're not ready to bridge the gap. They would just hurt this person again. And if they really care about this person, and if they really have empathy for you, I don't know which perspective I'm reading from here, then they're going to deal with themselves. And this is like hermit mode. But this to me, it's like doing workbooks, learning what your resiliencies are, actually looking up a list of what resiliencies are, knowing what they are, knowing how to apply them. Just getting into good self-love habits too. I think this person needs to be their own best friend, where it's like everybody else can leave us behind and I will be there for me. And I'm going to take myself to the sauna and I'm going to get myself a sundae and I'm going to, not as coping, but as self-love. That's what I feel like this person needs, is self-love. And once they know that they're okay on their own, that's what actually, ironically and paradoxically, makes them a better partner in all their relationships. So, yeah. And it gets them out of that strategic mind, because that strategic mind, it's like, oh, well, hindsight is 20/20. And if I could, I'd go back and I'd fix this and this. But what they want to fix, what they fantasize about fixing, is the part in their strategy that went wrong. But this person needs a complete overhaul for the way that they approach the now. That's what it is. Not to get these little small isolated wins, but to live an overall win, integrated life, So I think I'm going to leave that there. That's what I'm picking up on. If that resonates, please comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.